If I saw the complaint that Cassie came out with prior to going public, I told you that I would have told him to pay. And so we always kind of went back and forth with why didn't he pay? Why didn't he keep this document out of the public? Then you think about why, when he had the opportunity to leave and the feds met him and arrested one of the passengers that was supposed to get on his plane, why did he come back?
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
If you were prosecuting Diddy, Sean Combs, what would you want from him?
That's a hard one, man, because I already told you how I feel about seeing people behind prison.
Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this: Would you want more information from him? Like who was at the party? Give us your other people for lesser time, or would you like what do they want from Diddy? Like, do you think is the prosecutor gonna ask for people to come forward?
I mean, it's different prosecutors. Right? I talked about it's different lawyers, it's different prosecutors. I think a really good prosecutor is going to want to dig into, okay, let's just start off with something easy. First 5 people that come to mind that did not have a good time that you believe were harmed at your party.
Right.
And you're like, oh yeah, it was this young woman. She was probably about 20 years old, named Alicia. She was serving bottles and somebody grabbed her by her arm and pulled her to a room, and I didn't see her. And when I saw her again, she looked traumatized. I think she might have been someone who was harmed. Okay, can you tell me what she looks like? Because at that point, if I'm a prosecutor, I want to find these victims and I want to try to make them whole. If there's any kind of fund or victim assets that we can provide to them or resources that we can provide to them, I want to do that. And then I also want to make sure that if there are any other, or if there are predators out there, that we find and we get our hands on them and pull them from the general population as well.
Right. And so by doing that, would you offer Sean Combs lesser time for doing that, or we got him where we want him, so he's gonna get the time regardless?
Man, that's such a you really have to be in the room.
You got to be there
when it happens, right?
Right.
You know, kind of like Hamilton. You got to be in the room where it happens.
Right.
If there's a situation through our investigation that we pretty much feel like we have everything we want and everything that we need, it's really no need to discuss anything with you. You're going to take this 50 years and you're going to like it. Or
now it's about your moral compass. no.
Right. You're gonna take these 50 because we don't have anything to talk to you about. We have everybody that we want. If you have something that you think I might be interested in, speak now, forever hold your peace, because once I walk out this room, I don't want to hear anything from you.
Is there any possibility that Mr. Combs walks away from this scot-free? That he gets out of it? He goes home.
Where that button? Where that button turn his mic off? You know what? It is, and we've all seen the movie, The Avengers. Remember when Doctor Strange went like this?
Oh, that one possibility.
Yeah, he was like, is there a possibility?
One. It's one. Here it is.
Yeah, and so it's always a situation in which, you know, we'll kind of see how things go with the YSL situation, right? If there are witnesses who are not giving the federal government what they need, or not coming forward, or causing issues with the reliability of the facts in the case, that's always a possibility.
should Diddy have? Let's say he's guilty.
Mhm.
Should he have just said, "Hey, after his arrest, I know he pled not guilty, but can he just be like, all right, let me just tell you guys what happened. I know it's bad, but it's not that bad."
No, bro.
Okay.
No.
Stay away from that.
No.
Yeah.
No. What did I say?
It's just-
What did tape one?
Yeah.
Tape one. I ain't do nothing. Put your head down and shut up. Put your head down and shut up. It is nothing ever any good by you saying, no, I did not shoot Rook. I do own a .45 caliber, but I keep that in my house. I did not shoot him. I was not even in town. For them to go back and it's like, you're mistaken. You left the next day. You were here when he got shot. And we went to your house and we can't find the gun. Where's the gun? You just gave them what they needed.
By just talking.
Shut up.
So, do you think Diddy can plead that he was insane during these freak offs? Can he go that route? Like, I was fucked up.
Hey man,
I was in a
look here,
bad
bro.
place.
Look here. With the right amount of money, the right experts, you can prove pretty much anything.
So, should he have got out the country before he got arrested?
Sir, I am not.
Yeah, like, I'm just like,
Sir, I am not advocating for absconding.
No. What I'm saying is, he wasn't charged with anything. He could have just been out the country, right? And
Sir, I am not saying. I'm not saying what Russell Simmons did was the right thing to do.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Russell Simmons, if he sees this, he'll make a YouTube video about it and talk about it from Bali or wherever he is. Sean Combs will not have that opportunity. But I cannot tell you that you should abscond from the law or anything of that nature.
Mr. Combs goes to trial.
Mm-hmm.
Should he get on the stand?
So I thought about that today. I literally thought about that today. And so we talked about, I told you that if I saw the complaint that Cassie came out with prior to going public, I told you that I would have told him to pay. And so we always kind of went back and forth with, why didn't he pay? Why didn't he keep this document out of the public? Then you think about why, when he had the opportunity to leave and the feds met him and arrested one of the passengers that was supposed to get on his plane, why did he come back? And so I met with a former client and I talked to him, and it was a situation, and I was explaining it to them, and they were adamant about going the opposite. And it was ego.
Yeah.
And I said, I think that's it.
That's it.
I think Puffy's ego may have caused him not to listen to his lawyers at the time. And maybe his lawyer really didn't do a good job at convincing him, but either way it goes, to answer your question, if I am correct, it is no way in the world I would let him and his ego get on that stand.
No way.
Because if I'm a prosecutor, man, I am throwing jabs. Mr. Combs, where did you first coin the word, take that, take that? What's the first time you said that? What was the situation? I would be playing with him like a cat and a ball of yarn. just waiting for them to unravel. And
he's,
then
he's going to too.
Right, and you can keep him on the stand as long as you want, right? Without too many objections. Like you could really keep him on there for days, if not weeks, just to kind of go through his whole history.
yes,
Yeah, that's why he's like nigga.
Yeah,
Your whole life-
he just be sitting there.
Your whole
Like,
life get dissected.
like yeah, bruh. Like I'm going back to Shaquita at Howard. Like, hey, Miss Jones said you hit her in front of the Seton Hall dormitory elevator, similar to this, and just play Cassie's video. I mean, like you would have so many opportunities to get in his head to have him come out and say something or provide you something that you might not have known about because of his ego. I wouldn't do it.
right.
Just would you bring up like, you know, I thought you said that you can't stop. You can't stop.
Dude,
You will bring a song with
Won't stop.
you
Can't stop.
yeah, I would definitely bring up song lyrics. I mean, you bring up things that are personal to people. I remember one time I was crossing an officer. I think I told you about this one. I told you I was crossing the officer and he was a captain of the police department. And I asked him if he took notes. And he's like, yeah, I take notes for everything. I said, yeah, I'm forming law enforcement too. I take notes all the time. You know, you use a pencil and paper? He said, yeah, I'm not big on the iPad. I said, me, I like pencil and paper. I said, do you store them, keep them? He said, yeah, I always put the date on them and I had them boxed up by year and month. I said, that's cool. I said, you probably, and being funny, I said, you probably take notes when your wife sees you to the grocery store. He said, of course, because if I get one thing, I'm going to get in trouble. I said, that's interesting. I said, I asked for the notes that you took for this case, and they didn't provide me. Where are the notes?
Got him.
He smirked, I smirked. I said, where are the notes? He said, there are no notes. I said, did you destroy the notes? He said, no. I said, you didn't take notes? He said, no. I said, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why you didn't take notes. Because I didn't find that this was that important.
Whoa.
Whoa. You chief police, and this is important enough to bring us to a federal courthouse.
Right.
But you, the expert, and everything that we're talking about, didn't find it important enough to say, no, he said, I didn't.
Over.
My God. I'm out of here.
It's over.
I'm out of there. And so, you know, you a good lawyer will always tap into something that he knows his witness. You get comfortable, you slide in what you want, and then you pull out your result.
See, never trust a lawyer. Even he's crossing everything. He's trying to be your friend. No, he's hey.
What you talking about? I love you guys.
Will this trial be televised?
I think it's gonna have to be.
Right. And how long you see it lasting?
Because and it just depends if they want to break it up, right? Kind of like they did with R. Kelly. You know, we're going to talk about this here, snippet. We're going to talk about this here, snippet. We're going to snip it here. We're going to snip it there. They could go that route.
Right.
You know, definitely, I can see them talking to the hotel. You know, it's funny when they say it's a criminal enterprise, but only one person is standing guilty. That means most likely everyone else became federal witnesses. If there's only one person in a, I know it's not a RICO, but it's like they say it's an enterprise of criminal sex trafficking, and only Diddy is standing trial. That means
now.
Oh, so it may open up doors for other charges to come on other people.
Yeah, because then it becomes he's the top.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how did the women get there?
Right.
Oh, Uncle Charles brought them. Okay. Uncle Charles brought them. How many years or how many months did he bring these women? Everywhere we went, he brought the women. Uncle Charles.
So it's
we
kind of
wanna talk
like
to you.
with Jeffrey Epstein, Glizane, whatever. What Griselda, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
But they say that Diddy had a woman like that in his corner, allegedly, that would make the women feel comfortable. I forget her name. Her name is Kelly or something. But she's not charged with anything now. But things can come up to where, hey, based on what is said by certain witnesses or whatever, even before trial, we might even bring charges on this person, or it may come up during trial.
Or she could have went in very first and been like, hey, yeah, you guys are investigating this guy. My name might come up. Let me tell you how my role went. And it wasn't, it just depends.
A lot of people are resigning. A lot of people are being quiet right now. I don't know if you noticed that, but you think that's a smart thing for them to do?
Look here, man. It may not be them, per se, leaving on their own.
Right.
You know, if I have an employee that has done something, it could be a lawyer. Like, okay, we got an issue. You're tied to it. You're the connection to the issue. Sever. You gotta go. You gotta go. And so, because we need to be able to tell people when we found out about it and we knew your connection, that we didn't condone that by letting you stay.
Is there a consequence for, say, one of these tapes to come out like that? Everybody say that the feds have, right? And they come out. Is there a consequence for the feds releasing these tapes, or how does these tapes even get released? Is it someone inside that does it, or?
You gotta be very careful. One of the concerns that I have is if someone had a tape and they released it to a TMZ or any of the internet website deals, unless it's quote unquote one of the, I forget what they call it. What do they call it? Black. Everything bad is black, but black market.
Yeah.
On the internet, and they released it, you could potentially be charged with interference with a governmental investigation. Because you know the investigation is going on, you know the subject matter that is being looked at, and you are releasing something that could hurt, harm, or even help our case, but you're introducing it to the general public, and you could have spooked the cameraman who we were about to arrest, and he saw that this tape was released and he fled, and now we don't know where he is.
Right.
So you've interfered with the investigation.
Right. Is it?
I mean, I'm talking hypothetical, but there could be something to that. That's one of the reasons why you have to be very careful about how you get involved with investigations once they start moving forward, especially if you're someone who they've talked to before and said, hey, do you have anything? You said no, and then all of a sudden this video comes. You just can't be doing anything that you want willy-nilly. And let me just say this. 15 minutes of fame can cost you 15 years in prison.
Right.
So you know they're trying to sell this tape, right? As far as they're trying to get top dollar for a tape that's going out right now, allegedly. Again,
look, man. Look, you can do anything you want to do.
Right.
You can do anything you want to do. But I'm surprised if the government knew that this tape existed and knew who had it, that they wouldn't do what they need to do to get it. Because you got to remember, this is some offshoot, no contracts, not legally binding video that's out there. The federal government can subpoena your medical records, your banking records. things that you have a contract with that allegedly says you won't give my stuff to anybody else, and you think that they are going to be protected?
All right.
Nah, bro.
Is it illegal to have cameras in your personal bathroom in your house?
It's a good question. That's a good question. Man, it. Oh no, I'm cool with my response.
Right.
You know, if there was a reason, like I kept the camera there because I had small kids and my kids like playing in the toilet and could potentially drown, and I wanted an alert to notify me if my kids were in the bathroom. That's one thing. But if I have nothing but adults coming into my house, you're going to have a hard time explaining why that camera is there and what are you doing with those videos. There's no amount of money that's good enough or worth it to do that. But then not only are you offered money, but you don't receive anywhere near what you were supposed to receive. I really don't understand why he said what he said, but I would probably really look at having him evaluated to see if he understood the situation and he understood the ramifications of what he was doing and what he was saying. Because you're right. I didn't see anything in that trial. Usually if you go to trial and I plead not guilty, I want to go to trial. I know I did it, but I want a jury to see another side of me so that they give me less time than what I've been offered. It's typically how that works. But the things, like you said, the things that he was saying and the details that he was giving.
How old was he? Anybody know?
21. It might have just happened when he was probably like 17, 18.
Yeah, like,
But he was like 21 at the time. 22.
See, that's the thing, man. The things that he said did not really work in his favor, in my viewpoint.
Yeah, they asked him, did you feel at the moment of showing the video of him shooting in the window? They said, did you feel bad about shooting it, even at the moment, shooting a gun, even at the moment, even after? He said, no. All I was thinking about was the money. That does not help you.
No.
No.
it looked like a monster.
It's like, there's no mother, father that will be like, we understand your situation.
Right.
He would have done better not testifying and basically just doing a trial on punishment. And then that way you can get a bunch of witnesses in to talk about your character and how great a person you are.
Right. What lawyer let you go on the stand and say shit like that?
Yeah, object. I mean, I'm mistrial, something. Say something.
You know, man, I don't want to second guess the lawyer, but I said it before. You know, there are lawyers who are Hall of Famers, and there are lawyers who, you know, believe. Right. And this might be a situation where I don't. And that's one of the things about a lawyer, man. You really have to understand your client and your client's culture and where your client is from in order, I think, to put on a good defense.
How much should you be giving a lawyer for a murder charge? Like, how much?
Once again, there are Hall of Fame attorneys.
So, like, no. What is the cheapest it should have start out on a murder charge? Like, for a lawyer to take a murder charge, like, what is it?
Brother, I'm pretty sure there's some lawyers out here that they'll let you pay them $500 to start off on a murder charge.
But what is a good amount that if you like?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. I mean, look, PSA, man, look, I don't know. Every lawyer is different. Every lawyer, you know, charges based on their experience and their results and how they understand the workings of the court. But if you don't understand that, or if they don't really understand how they should gauge what they're charging based on that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get at like, if you know you're guilty, are they just taking your money, or is it like, you know,
$30,000.
like yeah, just give me some money, like okay. Why do you want to go in there with a lawyer knowing that you did it, right? And they have all the evidence against you.
I've seen people pay up to $100,000.
Yeah, no. G Herbo just recently paid $1 million to a lawyer. He went in and just pleaded guilty. Now they're suing him for not paying the rest of the legal fees, about like, let's say another 200, 300,000. He's like, y'all didn't do nothing. I pled guilty. And, you know I hired y'all to try to fight it, but I pled guilty. How are y'all suing me for, and, you know, again, that's them, but he said, I nearly paid y'all $1 million and I just pled guilty. There was no trial.
You got to be very careful as a lawyer with that, because depending on the state and depending on the guidelines, that lawyer is going to have to show that he actually is owed that money. You got to be very careful with that.
And lastly, I have to ask, when it comes to whether murder trials, whether Diddy, do prosecutors, defense attorneys, do they all just talk to each other during lunch? The judge, do they all just say, hey, this case is easy. Hey, how you want to handle this? Hey, this is a shot. Like, I'm looking at the Dolph case. I'm like, it looks like the defense and the prosecutor just had a conversation. Like, hey, man, let's just go home. Let's just, he don't even know better. He's just gonna say whatever. So let's just call it one, and let's not stay here for weeks on end.
Do we talk? Yeah. I mean, it comes in handy. I mean, because if I know you as a person, and I know you are not necessarily a very upfront, forthcoming individual, and I know I have a trial against you, I know to expect and look for shortcuts that you've taken during that trial. On the other hand, I think I told you the time I got cussed out by a prosecutor who told me to get my behind back to the courthouse ASAP because he needed to release my client because he realized my client was innocent. And I just so happened to be at lunch with a judge at the time. And I was like, well, Judge, I guess I got to go because I got to let the prosecutor be a good person and get my client out of jail. And so I was able to do that because I had a reputation or a relationship with the prosecutor. And they know I mean what I say and say what I mean. And I don't hide the 8-ball. I don't do all of that. I just, if I'm going to whoop you, I'm going to whoop you nice and clean and honest. It ain't going to be no, well, it ain't going to be none of this. It's just, it is what it is. And having a good reputation as a lawyer and as a prosecutor goes so far in the benefit of you as a practicing attorney. And so because of that relationship, this prosecutor actually did something that they didn't have to do. And when they did what I asked them to do, they realized I was correct and they got my client out of jail.
So the crap talking, like, is it really like on Law and Order? Like, yeah, Kevin, you're gonna cheat on this trial like you cheat on your wife? Like, do they? Y'all really like? Y'all really talk to each other like that?
I'm gonna have to take my own advice and plead the fifth.
Amen.
Because I may have heard someone who had a voice and sounded like me say some things about slapping someone as if they were on Flag Street. So, but I don't know who that person was.
Right. That's a whole different entity. That's a whole different entity. Well, with that being said, again, as we're speaking these cases, we want to let our fans know we have you here to be able to answer, some of the burning questions that we may have. And again, even the Diddy trial or case until the trial comes, a lot more is going to come about. A lot more is going to happen. Of course, we'd love to have you back and sit down and speak on it. As things come up, whether a movie, whether a documentary, we'd love to, of course, have you, whether virtually or in person, have you sit down and talk about it. But we also want to make sure we are promoting what you're pushing on your end, because you're traveling all over the world, and you know you're doing a lot. So for Larry Taylor, what do you have going on in your personal channel? Can you also make sure that, you know, for those who are following, looking to DM you and ask personal questions about civil or criminal questions, how can they get at you? How can they follow you? And we want them to stop and follow you once you say it. Just stop what you're doing and follow, but tell them how to get at you.
First of all, I still haven't had any offers of anybody who could tell me what my glasses were.
Oh, okay.
Did I do that on your show? Or
No, it must have been on yours. But
okay.
Hey, no, let's do it on this one too. Come on now. Hey.
Oh, these are easy. These are easy. Next time, I think the first show I was on, those pair of glasses.
Yeah, those are nice.
They are rare.
Yeah, those are nice.
Very rare. And if someone can tell me who made them and where they were first seen, it was a show.
Ooh.
I'll give them a hint. It was a show. If you can tell me, we'll put up another $100
okay.
for that.
Can we win on our end?
No.
We got the 4K. We got the 4K version.
Yeah. You guys cannot win, but I just encourage people, man, you know, to use your site and use my site as interactive as possible. Yes. Ask questions. If they want to hear about things, DM you guys. Yes. And you guys have those questions, and I'll come on and answer them as best I can. And so you can find me at Larry Taylor II. We're launching Tailor-Made Conversations, which would be a YouTube page and podcast talking with politicians, young entrepreneurs, and discussing real issues that affect our community on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of people don't know that real politicians can tell you how much tons of concrete were poured on a particular block because they were that into making sure that their community was taken care of. And so I'll be having guests on who will be able to discuss things like that. Young entrepreneurs like yourself coming on, talking about what they're doing. And sometimes we give out surprises. I just gave out $1,000 to the Dallas Black Chamber to give to an entrepreneur to help them get going. And then we're also offering a year of financial consultation. Wow. You know, we won't handle any of the litigation, but we'll definitely guide them as to where they need to go and what they need to do to handle certain situations, and potentially even partner them up with other law firms that may specialize in the things that they need. And so our goal and my goal is to make sure that we take care of our community. We enrich our community with wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and that also that we protect our community. And so that's one of the reasons why I mentioned our advocacy for anyone who may know of a young kid or a woman, anyone who was raped, or a man who was raped in prison, in any kind of governmental facility. Give us a call. They can reach us at 866-LT for me. And so that's the telephone number that we're going with, which is 866-LT for me. And we want to make sure that we are part of the champions for our community.
There you go. With that being said, of course, you're avid on Instagram, Larry Taylor, the RealLyfe Lawyer. So we want to make sure they follow that. Are you on any other avenues outside of Instagram, YouTube, website? Are you on Twitch? I mean, I don't know.
If you go to tailormadelaw.com, you'll find all our handles and connections. Look, I told you guys how old I was before. Some of this stuff is too new for me. I'm trying to keep up as much as possible because you got to watch out, because just because I looked up something for YSL or for a Young Dolph trial, I didn't know other stuff pop up on your screen. And sometimes, sometimes you could be with the wifey or somebody, and something pop up and you'd be like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't answer this. This just popped up.
Right. It's in that algorithm, god dang it. But with that being said, no, we definitely appreciate your expertise coming on the couch, man. Definitely a breath of fresh air, definitely very enlightening. And we got to say it, Larry Taylor, the real life lawyer, you are a real life street star. Lego!
Thank you.
Appreciate it.